Anyway, so about the age of 13, I went to work with my uncle and started farming. And I would drive it. I worked from 7 till 7, from Monday through Saturday during the summers. And I would drive a tractor. If it rained and the fields were muddy, then I'd go build fence or we'd work cattle. But or just haul junk from one place to another. He found something for us to do during that time period. During that time period, my father began to put together a small cattle herd, and then we began to be able to buy my brothers and I would be able to buy 1 or 2 head of cattle, and so we started our own little herd. And that herd is what ultimately each of my 4 brothers and I used to put ourselves through college. Because he basically said that you'll get a lot more value out of your college education if you pay for it yourself. And I have to say that I did, because I got out in 4 years, and a lot of my buddies took 5 and 6 years to get out, because I had no money to go beyond that. So anyway, I went in one end of the school building there as a first grader, came out the other end as a senior. When I was in high school, I met my wife, Gina. Her dad was the school superintendent, her mother was a librarian, so I've married into a family of educators, and her brothers and sisters, her brother and her sister are educators as well. Then I went off to Texas A&M. At that point in time, the draft was still in effect, in operation, because Vietnam was still underway. It looked like it was going to wind down, but I never was sure. So I joined the Corps at A&M and was an ROTC, Air Force ROTC. Because if I was going to join the military, I wanted to go in as a pilot.
Right.
And
but who doesn't want to be
exactly.
a pilot?
I wanted to fly fighter aircraft.
Yeah.
Got an accounting degree from A&M, but I didn't go into the military. At the time that I graduated from A&M, it was the mid-70s, and there wasn't a real good career path for pilots at the time, because Vietnam had wound down, and so the military wasn't looking for pilots, and they said you don't have to join. And so I went into the civilian world. With my accounting degree, I started with a big 8 accounting firm called P. Barrick. I took my lowest job offer and went back to the Panhandle, to Amarillo, Texas, because I wanted to go back closer to home. And funny enough, as fate would have it, 10 months later they transferred me to Houston, and so I was working for this accounting firm in Houston. After some time in the public accountancy business, I was able to get my CPA certificate, and then I migrated over to the energy business, and I worked for a small startup offshore drilling firm that I joined in 1980. It was a little firm that had construction contracts pending and drilling contracts pending and financing contracts pending. It was one of these little operations where if you pulled a string on any part of it, the whole thing could have come down. But we had a very motivated CEO, we had a very good team, and I was able to get in on the ground floor of this. And it was one of those things, as I interviewed for jobs, I thought, that's where I could go make a difference. That's where I could add value.
That's where you could be a hand.
Right, that's where I could make a hand, exactly right. So you're reading my mind. So I was able to go in there, and we built that company up nicely, and then we sold it to another publicly traded drilling company called Marine Drilling. And I guess somebody wanted to punish me because they made me the CFO of the combined organization. Usually when you're part of the acquired company, they shoot you and throw you out the window, but they wanted me to be the chief financial officer, so I got to be the chief financial officer. In that company, right after that acquisition, there were some dark days in the oil and gas business. Natural gas prices got pretty low, oil prices were low, and I struggled for 2 years to help keep that thing afloat, but we kept it afloat. And in 1993, it was one of the best performing stocks on Wall Street that year.
Wow.
So it was really neat to see, if you get a team together and you work real hard, what you could do, particularly when you're that close to the edge of going out of business. But we held it together, and everybody that participated in the process got all their money back, and with interest. It was neat to see how things can work if you really pull together.